Yo, what's up, everybody? I had a crazy flight the other day and I just had to tell you this story. So the forecast was looking incredible. A friend drove down, Evan drove down from White Salmon, almost 3.5 hours to fly with me. And we launched off the south side of Pine Mountain into an insane sky, beautiful clouds. I climbed immediately up to cloud base. From there, I just popped clouds and just was having such a perfect time, right? Well, Evan was a little low. I kind of waited for him at cloud base. We kind of got split up. I just keep having this wonderful flight. I had woken up kind of thirsty, so I drank a bunch of water before launch. And about an hour and a half into the flight, I had to pee. So, I start trying to pee through my condom catheter, only to feel it balloon around me. And I kind of peed my pants a little bit. And so I stop, I pinch it off. Oh God, what's happening down here? Obviously I'm in this big pod harness with all this stuff. And so not seeing exactly what's happening. So I hold my pee. I'm like, oh my God. And so I'm really clenching my body. My body's kind of tight. And then I fly to cloud base and I get to cloud base and I'm trying to deal with it. And then all of a sudden I just my hands are off of the glider and I fly into 4 meters a second lift. It takes me into the cloud. 4 meters turns into 6.5 meters a second. I'm just getting sucked up into this cloud so bad. And I'm totally white roomed. It was disorienting and I pop out facing the south. I was trying to go east. And so now I'm a little bit frazzled. I'm a little dizzy. And still, my condom catheter, I can't pee, so I'm still holding my pee. And now my phone won't charge and it's about to die and it's my flight instrument. So I'm trying to deal with that. And I'm trying to deal with this. I'm at 13,000 feet. So I take my gloves off. My hands are now freezing. And now I'm this tube that I use, it has this big curve in it because it's a hard tube. And so it can't get kinked, but it can flip over itself and it makes the condom catheter twisted at the end of my dick. And so now I just pull myself out of my zipper and I'm trying to look at it. I'm trying to look at it to figure out which way is this damn thing twisted. And then I'm trying to twist the P tube outside of the harness so that it'll untwist on me. And I've only made it worse. And now I've got 3 twists there and I'm just so frustrated. I scream out loud. And so finally I reach down and I grab the catheter and I literally pull the tube out of the catheter, trying to not rip it off of my dick entirely. All the while I'm not flying. I'm just letting the glider fly. I'm flying an E&D 2-liner on a super active, really strong climbs day. So the glider is just rocking around and I'm just looking at it. I'm please just keep flying. I'm going to let it it's just bucking around. I'm just hands totally off. Well, after an hour of this bullshit, I am completely and totally nauseous because I have basically been holding my pee, which makes my body really tight and tense. And paragliding is it's an intense experience. So it's not uncommon to have some kind of fear response in your body. And so the holding your pee only makes that worse. And then I've just stared at my crotch. I've stared at my instrument and I've gone through the cloud and I basically feel I've been trying to read a book in the back of a windowless car on a really windy road. I'm just car sick. I'm air sick. Not to mention, Evan has now passed me and I call him on the radio. He's 7 kilometers ahead of me. We're 65 kilometers into our flight and he's already 7 kilometers ahead of me. And why is he ahead of me? Well, because I haven't been able to fly because I've been dealing with all this stuff. And now I'm totally sick and I'm just really not having a good time. And I consider landing. At some point, it kind of it was almost the whole epic of trying to deal with my P tube and the charger cable and everything was kind of like this weird dream, and I was like having a hard time like remembering like what exactly had happened. And I was like, this is kind of a weird state to be flying in. I don't know if this is safe. But Evan, the thing about him is he is just so diehard, man. He's gonna fly to the bitter end, and I knew it. So I was like, I just gotta hang in here. Like, there's no reason for me to land on the ground, get into the retrieve that I've hired, and then do the retrieve that I've paid for, even though, so it's just like, so I stuck with it. And like 165 kilometers into the flight, I finally like burp, and I'm like, oh, there's a glimmer of hope. I start to feel a little better. I can drink some water. I like get a little food in me. I start to feel better. And I ended up making 253 kilometers. It's an enormous flight by pretty much any standard. And it gave me a couple of lessons that I wanted to share with you. And first of all, like, I wanted to share that I just had this crazy epic of like P-tube and like just technical difficulties of just like the silliest, most ridiculous kind. And then the other thing is like, one of the things that paragliding has taught me the most is like about my expectations and about my like own identity as I like cling to like being good at paragliding and being like expert and like impressive. And that's been like something that life has just ground me to just such a fine powder on, like bits beat me to a pulp. And so on this day, with the perfect sky and a great forecast and a crew and a hired retrieve, like I really, in my head, I had this idea that I was going to fly a beautiful, elegant, delicate, masterful flight. And what I ended up getting was like kind of an epic type 2 fun where I really like for a solid 2 hours, I really didn't even want to be in the sky. I wasn't enjoying myself, and I was physically really uncomfortable. And honestly, I fought through all of that. Like I dealt with the condom catheter thing, like so hardcore, like managed to make it work and like be able to pee. And I just like stuck with it so hard, like all of the stupid little details and like the frustration and the disappointment of one of my best flying partners is like dropping me because I can't like fly on the speed bar because I can't hold on because I'm dealing with my own dick in flight. It's just ridiculous. But my point is that I wanted like this, I had this idea of like what my day could be like. And it ended up that I didn't get that. And I got like this Sky Warrior experience where I really just like persevered, and it really was my own adaptability and my own persistence and my own like just toughen it out, hanging in there and just like being present with my experience and just being like, well, I'm not having that much fun, but I'm still flying, so keep it going. And that I really got to like see a different part of myself. I was hoping to have the like really masterful, like over 300K, like it was a good day. And I've flown that route a bunch of times and made over 300K there many times. And I ended up just settling for just like presence and enjoying my time in the sky and like feeling honestly like really grateful just for my life and the sky and my friends and the retrieve and my wife and like my relationships and my business and all of these things. It was just like a wonderful experience. And it's like, I've had the same thing in my marriage, like I want a marriage and a relationship that's like inspiring and beautiful and loving and supportive. And sometimes it like kind of comes off the rails and it's like loud and it's like resentful and it's like hurt and it's like frustrated and it's like, it's not everything that I wanted it to be. And in those moments, I try to remind myself that it's like, this is just life letting me see a different side of myself. I have all kinds of skills and I have all kinds of capacities. And sometimes my capacity is to be like so deeply in love and like enwrapped in my lover's embrace. And other times it's like, no, I have a deep capacity to be just utterly committed and to just like push through all kinds of bullshit and to like forgive and to let go and to move on and to like speak into it and to like heal and to like build skills and all of this stuff. And it's just like wonderful. And I led the paragliding men's group this morning. It was the final call of the cohort. And so I got to share this story with the men today, and they're just my brothers, and we get to share and support each other and listen to each other and grieve with each other and just deep male friendships that are kind of centered around flying and adventure, but also, so often are the things that we're working through and that we bring to men's group are so rarely paragliding related. There's so much, they're professional and they're relational and they're personal and they're with our parents and they're with our families. It's like, those are the things that these guys are really like bringing and working so hard and like so willing to like look at themselves. And it's so beautiful. So I get to share this story with them, and I thought that I would share it with you. So just as a reminder to be open to the various parts of you that what sometimes seems like God is punishing you, it really is a gift, and it really is showing you your various capacities, your various parts of yourself. And, sometimes it'll just show you your outright capacity to endure, just to like continue carrying on with life and just to be present with all of the bullshit that it entails. And so, and who knows, like for the vast majority of my flight, I was critical in my own head. I'm like, oh, you're turning too much. Oh, you're flying slow. Oh, you suck at this. Oh, Evan's better than you, yada, yada. I have these like chirping inner critics, and at the end of the day, I like land at almost 255 kilometers. And I'm like, well, I guess I'm not that bad at this after all. So, a wonderful day. I love paragliding and I love the men's group. There is a new cohort that we are accepting men into. The alumni are here for you. And if your life and your relationship and you want to take yourself seriously and be in a group of really high level, powerful, self-reflective, responsible men, then hit me up. The link is in the description below. We would love to have you. Thanks so much. We'll see you on the next episode.